What up? It's Stephen C. And welcome back. Yes, back to another edition of Stephen C's YouTube channel. Oh, you know, the YouTube channel where I make videos, upload them to YouTube, you watch them, and I chill the fuck out. Without further ado, wait, stop, wait, stop it. Let's do this shit. Oh, that was big shout out. Big shout out to my man Dashi XP, XP's YouTube channel. I like to watch his Super Mario Maker videos from time to time, and I figured I would just jack his intro because I mean, that was kind of entertaining for me at least. Maybe for you, you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But hey, I don't really know. So it's been a year since I've made a video, or since I made a video, and it's been a year since I made a video, and it's not intentional. It's not like I marked down on a calendar somewhere. I'm in 1 year from now make another video. It just so happens that I made a video almost exactly a year ago and put it on YouTube. So something that's led me, a couple of things have led me to want to make a video for today. One of them is, okay, I'm gonna call this video Fatherless Day, and I had seen some Father's Day advertisements, propaganda. I guess I mean I tend to think of it as propaganda. Um, I, I the place that I'm at right now is I think even days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., are propaganda in my eyes. So, but I had been seeing Father's Day advertisements, propaganda, and that sort of sparked me wanting to make this video. Um, and and I grew up without a father. I'm a bastard, from like literally, uh, by definition, I'm a bastard. And my parents were never married, and my father was not present. My father lived 3,000 miles away from me. And while I was growing up, well, he still lives 3,000, if he's even alive now, but for my whole life, he's been 3,000 miles away from me. And I had a conversation with a friend maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he was raised by both his parents. His parents were married. This friend grew up with his father around, and I asked him if he likes to surf. He has a house by the beach, right by the beach, boy. But yeah, he has a house by the beach, and he likes to go surfing. And I asked him, have you gone surfing um, this this year? Is it? I don't know. I don't know when it's groovy to surf, man. I so I asked, and he said, no, it's haven't gone surfing yet. And then he started talking about certain times of the year, uh, certain conditions that the ocean might be in. You don't want to go swimming. You don't want to go surfing in because no matter how strong of a swimmer you are, the ocean could pull you in, and you won't be able to get out. And he went on to tell me that when he was younger, his father would train him or have him do this lifeguard thing where they would go into the ocean, him and his father, and his father would play dummy. He would play like he would just go limp, and he would have his son rescue him, pull him to the shore. And my friend was saying, yeah, I mean, he taught me how to strong, really strong, and he made sure that I would be safe if I was going to be in the ocean, if I was going to be going to the ocean. And I guess the logic behind it is if you could pull a limp body out of the water single-handedly, you'll be a lot more prepared or better equipped to get yourself to the shore if something happens. So, um, and I said that's freaking awesome. Like that's the coolest thing that I've heard this whole week. And he said, yeah, yeah. If I when I have a kid, I'm going to teach them. I'm going to do the same thing. And I said, yeah, that's what it's all about. I think, like, if if there's a meaning to life, if there's a purpose to living, that's the closest example I could think of. To be training your son to swim strong. Not even necessarily in literal swimming, but just in general to show your son or daughter, um, just your kids, how to survive and how to maintain. And I think it's yeah, I think that there was something really potent about my friend telling me that, and that kind of might have pushed me in the direction of making this video, but also the Father's Day propaganda, Father's Day advertisement propaganda, whatever you want to call it, that I've been seeing. And I feel like there might be one other thing that has me thinking about fathers. Um, oh, yeah, there's a couple. There's a married couple, and they have there's a married couple that I go and see every so often, and they have a little boy. He just turned 2 years old, and I had to go there last week, or I didn't have to go there, but I went there last week, and the I've kind of been developing like a friendship with the little kid. Like whenever I go there, I'm mostly focused on the little boy. I mean, that's the most interesting thing in the apartment to me, and not on some pedo shit. On some like I like kids. On some like wholesome I like kids shit. And so the last time I went there last week, he wanted me to stay and play, and I had to get going. Big adult. I got adult shit to do. Little one, I got to go. I got better things to do. Unfortunately, he's not my son. He's not my kid, but he was sort of whimpering when I was leaving. I said I got to go now, and he did the sad face and like was sort of grabbing, pulling me into the living room to stay, and I did the sad face back, and I said, I'm sorry. I'd like to spend all the time with you, but there's all these silly responsibility things that I have to go take care of. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to eat. And I I held onto his hand, and I held his hand, and I said, I'll see you soon, you know. And I know that's, it might not have been that on his end. It's probably like, well, I'm not getting what I want, so screw this. But I don't know how to handle that kind of a situation. I do the best I can, and I let them know that I know how they're feeling, and how the kid's feeling, and then I left. But yeah, so and that sort of reminded me a little bit about how the sadness of a big guy, some big, a dude that's fun, a dude that you enjoy spending time with. They're not there, or they have to go, or they're gonna leave you alone without them, or just being without them is kind of daunting in a way. It's a little saddening, and when you find somebody that you enjoy the company of, it's disappointing, or it's sad face. It's sad face when they're not there, and so yeah, that sort of led me to thinking about how my father wasn't there, and how ridiculous it is. Like, because I really enjoyed this. I enjoy most all kids' company. And it's really mind-boggling that there's even one father who's not really involved with their kids' life in their kid's life. Um, I can't personally imagine having a child somewhere where I'm not. Uh, it would make me sick. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I could live with myself if I just had a kid out there that I wasn't with. And okay, where do I want to go? Where am I going with this? Yeah, so the name of this video is going to be Fatherless Day. And kind of, I wanted this video to be a little bit of like a shout out to the kids that grew up without fathers. Um, if there's even a such thing as a video being somewhat supportive or um, understanding, uh, that's what I want to put across. Not like there's nothing that I could do about it. I can't wind back the clock and give anybody a father. But I guess the best I could do is sort of say, I grew up without a father. I have some idea of what it's like, and and maybe if after listening to this, you might say, well, I never heard anything like that before in my entire life, and I feel a little less alone. Um, so okay, let's get into it. It's holy shit. It's 13 minutes and I haven't read. Well, I guess I kind of got into it, but let's get really in. Let's go deep. I'm going deep, son. Um, so in second grade, I my class was given an assignment to make Father's Day cards, and I remember looking around the classroom, and everyone was busy. Had their head down. They were working on a card for Father's Day, and there was something. I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was something weird. Like, there was something that didn't make sense to me as to what was even happening. Um, it's almost like if all of a sudden you saw it raining upwards, and you had never seen that before. You'd be like, "What the fuck is happening? That's some new shit." Um, it's kind of like that. It's like I looked around and it was like, everybody has a father. There's 29 other kids in this class, and all of them have no problem making a Father's Day card. Um, there's am I the only person here that's having problems with this assignment? Am I the only person here who doesn't have a father to bring this card to at the end of the day? So I wasn't doing the assignment, and I was just kind of reflecting and trying to process, whatever it was that was going on in my head at that moment. And my teacher at some point noticed that I was not doing the assignment. Miss Hornstein, Miss Dyke Butch lesbian that wore a leather jacket and rode a motorcycle to school to teach 7-year-old kids all the important things that 7-year-old kids need to know, apparently. Um, and she came over. Why aren't you doing your assignment? Why aren't you doing your? What's wrong? What's the problem? Um, when I think about it now, it's like, get the fuck away from me. Like, there's no problem. There's not even why am I not doing my assignment? Because I don't have an assignment. You got an assignment, right? You're the one with the assignment. I'm the one. I never said anything about an assignment. I never came up with an assignment for anyone. I don't roll like that. Um, maybe I lack leadership qualities or something like that, but I don't have any assignments for anybody. Um, and but like, yo, fam, do me a favor and get the fuck away from me. Get away from this kid. Get away from 7-year-old me with this fucking. Why aren't you doing your assignment? Like, yo, you fucking chicken. Like, go get the fuck away and go cluck to the stairwell and fall down the stairwell twice. And then if you can fall up the stairwell, that would be fine too. Go down twice and then fall up once. But just get the fuck away from me with your fucking Father's Day card assignments. So, but yeah, she said, why aren't you doing your assignment? And I remember I started crying. And I said, I don't have a father. And she changed the subject, sort of. Like, she was like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you have an uncle? Right? She has got to get me to do this assignment. One way or another. She got to get me to do this assignment for some reason. Do you have an uncle? Do you have? Oh yeah, you got an uncle. Yeah, I got an uncle. Okay, yeah, I got an uncle. What about it? Oh, well, just make the card for your uncle. Just pick your favorite uncle and make a card for him. Uh, okay, but I don't have a father though. Like, we're done talking about that. We're not even gonna talk about that. You're just gonna sweep that under the rug. It's just like, oh yeah, well, just skip over that. Okay, he doesn't have a father. Next, you got an uncle? Yeah, let's keep going. You got an uncle? Um, and so, yeah, I don't have a father. I was, and as when I think about it now, I think if I was a school teacher, or if I was a teacher at all, or if any kid ever was crying and saying they don't have a father, in my mind, to me, it's stop everything. Everybody put down your crayons. Everybody put the card that you're working on away in your desk for now. Not that I would even be having kids making cards. I wouldn't make it very, very long as a public school teacher. Probably any teacher at any, even in private schools or universities. I'd probably get fired day one. I wouldn't even get hired. I mean, I don't even have a degree, so I don't even have a high school degree. Anyway, but I was like, it's like everything stops. Okay, we have someone here who doesn't have a father, and they're distressed about it. They're just distraught, or they're crying. We're going to spend the rest of what's left in today in school today till 3 o'clock comes or whatever, talking about fatherlessness. And does anybody else not have a father? Okay, what the, let's really talk about this. Let's all understand this fatherlessness thing. Let's try to understand it. This is really important. This is important for us to talk about. I think it is, at least. This kid is crying and he doesn't have a father. How does it feel to not have a father? What's that? How do you feel now? And what's how does everybody else feel about him not having a father? How would you feel if you didn't have a father? There was none of that. It was just, you got an uncle? Yo, son, you got an uncle? Yeah, you got an uncle? Okay, just make the call for him then. I'm only making $65,000 a year in this school. We teach. I got 30 kids to take care of. We need more money. We need more money. Fucking retarded teachers, fam. Retarded teachers. They don't want to. They just do the card. Do the card. All right. Look. All right. Fine. I'm not going to get any sympathy or compassion from this dyke. Uh, Peace, Miss Hornstein. You just got called out, son. Get back on your fucking motorcycle and get the fuck out of here. Get away from 7-year-old me. Um, but so I wanted to make this. Well, let me finish that story, I guess. So I went and I made the card for the uncle, but I kind of just was doing it in a sort of. I wasn't into it at all. It's just like, I gotta get it done because this lady's just gonna fucking bother me again if I don't start doing something. And she was a fucking bitch, yo. Like, this wasn't I had had other problems with this lady. I had problems all through school. I mean, it's probably obvious to you that someone like me would not have a very easy time in the school system. But yeah, so okay, what I wanted to say, or what I wanted to point out in this video is, if you're someone who doesn't have a father, if you're someone who's grew up without a parent, it doesn't have to be a father. Just any parent is not present, or both parents are not present. Maybe you're adopted and you don't know your father. Whatever the case may be, maybe your father passed away, maybe your mother passed away. You're missing a parent. You don't have a parent, or you didn't have a parent while you were growing up, and you kind of needed that, or that would have been preferable for you. I wanted to say that I know it's not my fault. Well, it might be. Who knows? I don't know if it's my fault or not. But I'm sorry that parent is not there. I'm sorry that you're missing something that's really, really. I don't know. I guess I want to say crucial. I want to say important. I want to say probably most of all helpful. It's probably helpful and useful to have a mother and a father. Um, and if you don't have a mother or a father, then you're lacking some. You're not getting all the help that is possible. And you're maybe you don't feel this way. I felt this way. I always kind of felt like I was at a disadvantage. I always felt like, or didn't feel like this, because this isn't a feeling, this is a conclusion. But I always thought, I had this idea in my head that um, I'm lacking. Like, people who have both parents are more whole, more able to function, or they're just better than me. And I think part of that is because I think I think part of where the idea that someone else could be better than me comes from is the fact that my father, I felt like I thought that there was something wrong with me because my father wasn't around, or the fact that my father wasn't around was because I wasn't up to par. I wasn't acceptable. Um, and so yeah, so this video I kind of wanted to be like a shout out to the kids without a father or a mother, um, the kids who kind of carried the burden of going being alone, being alone to a certain degree, or being abandoned rather. And I I'm not saying that I'm not here to be your father. I'm not here to replace or mother. I can't I can't replace. Like I said, I can't turn back the clocks. But at the very least, I could say I hope that this video reaches you whoever you are, um, and gives you some sense of like you're not alone. Um, I mean, we're all alone, but there was a Twilight Zone episode. Tangent, tangent time. There's a Twilight Zone episode called Eye of the Beholder was the name of the episode. And it starts off where we're in a hospital, and you see a woman is a patient there, and she has gauze wrapped all around her face. Her whole head looks like it's mummified. She has bandages all around her face, and she had just gotten surgery done to fix her deformity. And the doctors and nurses come into her room and ask her, how you doing? And she says, oh, am I going to be okay? Did this work? Was the surgery effective? And they said, we won't know. We'll have to wait until the bandages come off. And she starts talking about how difficult it was living in this world where she didn't feel like she fit in, and she was an outcast, and she didn't, um, she wasn't included. She didn't feel like she was included, or she didn't think that she was included. And at the end, shit, I'm totally well. This is a freaking 60-year-old episode, so if I'm spoiling this episode for you, tough luck. But at the end of the episode, they take the gauze off her face, and it's, from our perspective, from the viewer, person watching the Twilight Zone, it looks like a healthy woman. She's fine. Like there's, she's an attractive human. Um, but the doctors are like gasping, and the nurses are like, "Oh my God!" And she goes, "What is it?" The lady that had the gauze on her face goes, "What is it? What happened?" And they say, "Oh, it wasn't effective. It didn't work." And she's like, "Give me a mirror. Give me a mirror." And she looks, and it's just her normal face, regular, healthy looking woman's face, and she gasps at her own face, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And I think she starts crying and panicking. And then they show all the doctors and nurses in the hospital, and they have these like fucking bugged out pig faces. Everybody's pig faced, and she's the only one that looks normal. And some guy, some normal looking guy, healthy looking guy, comes to the hospital to take her away, to take her, to the gulags, where they take all the disformed disformed people, the people who don't have pig faces are disformed. And he's like, oh, well, you come with us, and we'll go to where, the land of the freaks, us freak mutants, where we all look like this. And the doctors or nurses are just like, oh, wow, what a terrible life those people live. They just, they'll never be okay. They'll never be healthy. or something like that. And these motherfuckers got pig faces, fam. They're the ones who aren't healthy. So yeah, I guess I kind of wanted this video to be like I'm the guy coming to the hospital, um, picking up the person who feels like they don't fit in, and saying everything's everything is exactly how it should be. However you feel, whatever you think, whatever your experience was, is normal. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with you. If you grew up without a parent, you you have a disadvantage, and there's nothing wrong with you. Um, you know, sorry, I don't want to tell you what I don't want to tell you. Let me just say this: there was nothing wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me. It wasn't my father. The fact that my father wasn't there wasn't because there was anything wrong with me. Um, I I would I would like to raise me. I think that I would have liked to have, as a grown up, as a person I am now. When I think about who I was as a kid, I'm like that kid is freaking awesome. So I don't know. My father was. It's not like he wasn't there because there was anything wrong with me. So if you're someone who thinks, maybe your parent wasn't there, you've been abandoned or whatever. Um, First of all, I'm sorry that you don't have the same opportunity. You didn't have the same tools that someone that grew up with both parents had. And I kind of wanted this to be like a rooting for the child, for the parentless children who don't have parents. Sort of like, I know it's not as good as it could be, and I know how disappointing it could be, and I know how confusing it could be to not have a parent around. Um, and I wish you the best. You know, you're sort of you're handicapped, and I guess a part of me, or a thought that comes up for me, is the handicap the handicap need the cheering the most. The handicap are the ones who, I appreciate your hustle. I appreciate that you're even alive. I appreciate that you didn't have an ideal situation, but for whatever reason, you've made it here to where you are now, wherever you are, and there's a place of compassion in me that I kind of wanted to share with anyone who finds themselves in a situation like that. And there's oh God, I can go on for so long about this topic. There's there's so many stories I could tell that are related to this, and um, I guess the last thing that I'll say is something that was a little bit of a challenge for me with not having a father present growing up was, as I got older, I kind of had this thought or this conclusion that I'll never be okay. I'll never be someone who had a father. I'll never be someone who had two parents that that um, reciprocated with each other, that were able to cooperate and lead a life together. Um, and I can't go back. I don't, I'll never be someone who had two parents. I'll never be someone who grew up in a situation that was ideal. Therefore, I guess the conclusion of that is I'm screwed. And, it, like I said, and to some degree, there's some handicap to it. I might not even be able to understand consciously what that would be, but there is some degree of handicapness to and or and there was some sort of hopelessness in my mind that I want a father. I wanted something that I'll never be able to have. I can't force my father to come and be my father. I can't. There's nothing I could do. The only thing I could do was try to be the best father for me that I could be. You know, whatever I think that a father, whatever I would like from a father, that I could try to give it to myself as best as I can, and do the best that I can, considering my situation. Same thing with mother. There was I didn't have a mother that I mean my mother was present, but she wasn't a particularly good mother. So you know, it's the idea that I had was I can never be someone that has had a mother. Um, and all I could say to that thought is, I know, I'm sorry that I'm sorry that you didn't get the mother that have the mother that you would have liked, a mother that you could you know that you would like to have had. And I know I'm not a woman, but I sort of I like to rub my stomach and my chest when I'm talking to myself about this kind of stuff. Um, but sort of say like I'll do the best that I can. I'll be the best mom or dad, the best parent that I could be to you, and I'll try. I'll do the best that I can to make it up to you, to give you the best mothering and fathering that I could muster. So yeah, you know, again, I wanted this video to be sort of like a rooting for the parentless children, and sort of saying, you know, you know, do the best you can, and I wish you all the best, and I'm sorry that this is the situation, and I wish you, you know, I wish you all the best in being the best mother or father for yourself that you could be. And I know it's not the same, and I know there's no replacing it, but you already grew up without, you know, you already grew up without a handicap, right? Isn't that enough to give yourself the best that you could give yourself? You've already had it pretty hard. You've already been pretty burdened. So be, you know, give yourself the best that you could do, you know, whatever it is, you know, and if you fail, you fail. And if, you know, just keep trying to do the best you could do. Uh, um, I know this is sort of like not really, it's kind of like, oh, well, that's easier said than done sort of thing. Yeah, it is. I'm not saying, well, you didn't have a father or a mother, just keep it moving and shut the fuck up and do, I'm not, I don't mean to be coming across like that at all. I do know that it's difficult. I do know that it's a challenge. I do know that sometimes it could feel impossible. I do know how some of that stuff might feel if you're somebody who feels like that. And I just wanted to say some encouraging words and on Father's Day, and you know, well, this is a new day. I'm calling it Fatherless Day, and and this is for the kids that don't have fathers. And shout out to you guys. Um, I'm whatever you do in life, just know that there's somebody out there that's in the background sort of saying, go, 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 go. Let's see what you could do. Let's see what you could do even with the handicap, you know? It's okay that you know, it's okay that you're struggling. It's okay. You know, just do the best you can do. And I appreciate you doing the best that you can. And yeah, mwah. Mad love, yo. Mad love. And enjoy the rest of your day. And hey, I might not see you for another year. So do the best that you can. Do the best that you can. And just know that till the next time I make a video, your boy is here saying, no matter who you are, no matter who you are, I don't give a shit if you're the worst person ever. Your boy is here rooting for you, saying, go and do the best that you can do. All right? So, goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your summer, the rest of your year, the rest of your life. Holler at your boy.